Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Free Think Dojo. Today's going to be a little bit of a shorter video because, to be honest with you, I've been struggling with YouTube lately. I've been struggling trying to find ideas. I've been struggling trying to find time to even put into this channel. And it's not because I don't want to. I don't want to give that off in terms of not having a drive to do this or not, having the motivation to go about it. But I'm 28 years old, almost 29, and I have a full-time job. I have a lot of things going on in other academics and extracurricular activities, I guess you can call it. And I just find myself getting stuck a lot. Sometimes I get this little brain fog going on where I think I start to come up with ideas. I have a little notepad on my phone that if I have an idea for a video, I write it down and then I find a time to record the audio and then I just go for it all the way. But typically what's been going on recently is, I've been going through a little bit of a burnout. I made a video about this a few months back when I took a break over the holidays because I got burnt out, and I still kind of feel the ramifications of it. I've been trying to, I guess, ignore it a little bit, which I know isn't good, but I was almost trying to power through it as much as I could because I was taking time outside of work and outside of YouTube to try and find ways to relax. And after doing it for a couple of months, it has been helping, but it hasn't been enough. So I feel like I'm kind of running into a mental block here where I have ideas that I want to talk about and things that I want to do for this channel, but I get just like a block in my way. And when I have these ideas, I'll come and I'll sit down and I'll start to talk and the words just won't come out. Sometimes I think it's just my brain. Sometimes I have almost like a stage fright effect where I know I'm not talking to somebody, at least not directly, but I still feel like I'm like putting on a speech in a sense, trying to get all the words out, make them make sense, make sure the whole, video just flows. But sometimes I get so caught up in how that is formatted that I kind of lose myself within it. It's become a frustrating process that I think once I started to experience that burnout at the beginning, kind of the end and beginning of 2026, it started to affect like how my brain is, I guess, working on the daily. And it's not just with YouTube. I've been having to really focus on work a lot lately because I've had a lot of events going on. I've had shows that I've been to for my job, but I've had to, focus a lot of the remaining energy into that because obviously my job is the thing that is giving me money. It's supporting me and my family. And, I have to be careful on, what I'm doing in terms of, I guess, my energy expenditure, because I want to do YouTube, like I mentioned, and I have other things that I want to put energy into, like reading and, enjoying my hobbies and martial arts training. But man, it can get a lot all at once sometimes. But for today, I wanted to prove something to myself. I wanted to prove that even if my brain is just foggy and I may not have a lot of time to make a video, or maybe the idea that I made a whole 10-minute video about before this one just didn't click, that I would still keep going. And I think this video is going to not only be a testament to, myself, but also just a testament to what this channel is, all about. It's about free thinking and freely thinking what's on your mind. I have a lot of prep, and I wasn't lying about literally recording a 10-minute video before this about another topic, and I re-listened to it, and it just did not click. It didn't work. And, I'd be lying if I said that didn't happen more often than not, because it does. I feel like this is actually, the first video that I'm making right here where I don't feel like I'm stumped. I don't feel like that I have to go through a process to make this video. And it feels like I'm not having to put as much energy into it, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, I don't want you to think that I don't care about this video and this is like a burner one, because it's really a sign, I think. It's a sign that I need to slow down in a lot of aspects, which is never a bad thing. I think eventually everybody has to realize that we do have limits, and limits can be broken, but it's kind of one of those things where you realize you're human. It's kind of like an instant realization. I think a lot of people have this, drive and this grind mentality when they're in their 20s and probably 30s as well, where they just want to put as much as they can into life to get as much as they can out of it. And I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been doing that with my training, with my hobbies, with my relationships in my life. And when I started to feel that burnout at the beginning, I thought, okay, maybe I need to take back that energy and expend less. But what I found out is that it wasn't really about the energy I was putting in. It felt like it. Obviously, as I mentioned, it felt like it was just a lot of burnout because I was putting too much energy into something that maybe wasn't a priority or whatnot. But after thinking back, I think I was wrong. I don't think it's about how much energy that I'm putting into something. It's about what type of energy I'm putting into it. I've always heard that mindset is super important, and I've always tried to practice, mindfulness and being, putting my mind in a certain state when I'm confronted with a situation or a task, because obviously there's like the idea of being a pessimistic person or optimistic, and if you put those two different people on the same tasks, usually you might have different results, or at least a different process to achieve the same goal. And for me, that has become something I've started to focus on a lot, because when I get to this state where I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, or I feel like I'm getting brain fog or just stuck in life, I always feel like it's because I need to pull back. And while that's not technically untrue, I think that's the case in a certain way, right? I do need to pull back on, how much energy I'm giving into something, but I think it's also a downside. It's a negative when I do that. Because when I take away that energy, it's almost like I'm just giving up on it, right? It's almost like I'm just giving up, stepping back, and, feeling like I don't need to set it as a priority anymore. But then what I find is that maybe I want it to be a priority. Maybe I want this YouTube channel to be a big part of my life. Maybe I want it to be something that I continue to do on a consistent basis and not have to think so much about, right? Because that's what I do with a lot of other things in my life. Martial arts training, I don't think a lot about that. I just do it. It's my lifestyle. My relationship, I don't think a lot about how I'm supposed to be in a relationship. I just be a good person, I be a good partner, and I go about it the way that I feel like I should, and that will benefit my relationship, right? Same with work, same with friendships, same with any other hobby that you have. And I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to realize that it's not about the energy I'm giving, or at least how much I'm giving. It's about what type of energy that I'm, kind of putting into something like YouTube. Am I being negative about it? Am I being, super frustrated and just giving up when I get frustrated, right? I've had a couple of videos that I've tried making where I do get so overwhelmed by the process that I just go, you know what? I'm done for today. I'll try again tomorrow and see what happens. And I kind of leave it up to fate, hoping that tomorrow will be better. But I think I've decided now, starting with this video, that I want to stop waiting until tomorrow. I want to stop waiting to see what happens, hoping that I'll have the energy to do it. And if I don't have the energy, I want to start displaying that into, a positive direction, to a positive emotion. If I have a video that I'm not passionate about, then just talk like what I'm doing today. That's what this channel's always been about, and I feel like I've kind of lost the plot a little bit, which I do apologize for. But I feel like I'm starting to get it. I'm trying to think of ways to kind of move this channel around a little bit, and I appreciate all of the support I've been getting on this channel as well. Once again, I've never really cared about the numbers, and I don't want to care about the numbers. I just want to care about having an outlet for expressing my thoughts and who I am as a person, and I want that to be enough. Well, look at that. That was not a short video. I apologize for that as well. But yeah. Definitely let me know what you think. If you, are experiencing something the same, or any other YouTubers out there that deal with this, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear kind of how you guys deal with it, what you go through, just so we can, help each other out if possible. However, though, I feel good about this video. And once again, I appreciate all of you sticking around in the Free Think Dojo with me today. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and share with your friends to grow the dojo. And I will talk to you guys next time.